Good morning, and thank you for allowing me to observe your class today. I had a great time observing your strategies and your teaching. Here are a couple of ideas and thoughts that I had while I observed. It's great that you developed your rules as a class. I think that allows students to take ownership of the ideas that and how they are to behave and behaviors in the classroom. One thing I would recommend is try to refer to them as norms or standards, because rules tend to have a more negative connotation. People feel more bound by rules, but if it's a norm or a standard, they accept it as a way of behaving instead of something that they're told they have to do. That's a more positive spin on it. I think it's great that your students will sign it as a contract, and also gives them more ownership of the behaviors and acknowledge that they are aware of what behaviors are expected of them. Setting expectations is important, so you both know what you're looking for throughout the school year. When you talk about your assignments, you also set clear expectations in your slide presentation, but there's not much visual data to go along with your text. I feel like the students would respond well to seeing more visual images or ideas to help facilitate the learning and deeper understanding of the knowledge. All students learn in different ways, and we know that, and some do better with text and others do better with visual imagery. So appealing to both would help to facilitate understanding in the classroom. You clearly outline all of the details that are necessary for each assignment. The students are aware of how long they have to work on each assignment. Their expectations are known and clear, but again, to have more of a visual presentation would allow them to be more engaged in the material. More open-ended discussion about all of the ideas that you're talking about. I feel like the class was more being talked at instead of talked with or spoken to. And it's great that you go table to table to check for understanding, but also having a more open discussion during your lesson, during all of the lessons, would also facilitate some understanding from your students and checking for understanding and having them more involved in the process of learning. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's great feedback. Thank you so much. I feel like I need to be pointing to my notebook on all the things that you've told me.
But also using a stick in the classroom could feel a little demeaning in a way. I think I feel like if you could, with your presentation, you can reference it using a hand rather than a stick, because it's having a stick being pointed to a screen and then pointed to the students is a little intimidating. I would not feel comfortable with that in the classroom if I were a student. And again, having more dialogue with the students and having more discussion with them, maybe encouraging more. It's an English class, so encouraging more language use in the classroom. Modeling proper language use in the classroom is also quite important. It's not only content, it's clear that the students don't seem to be native English speakers, so modeling proper grammar and language is extremely important for them to be able to reproduce the same skills as you.
Great. Thank you.
Otherwise, I think that the students seem to respond well to you, and through time, they will remember and follow all of these norms and strategies that you guys have developed together. I think it's fun to have a creative way. The dancing as a punishment, I also would prefer the word consequence to punishment, but it's a nice idea that you let them choose a consequence for being late to class. And I just hope that your students don't choose to be late because they want to dance and they think it's fun.
Yeah.
But it's a nice idea to allow them to choose a consequence that's meaningful to them.
Good, yes. That's all great ideas. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for letting me join your class today in music. I enjoy getting to observe your class. And I loved how you greeted everyone, the individuals at the door, and gave them a fist bump and knew most of, or said most of their names. That's a very good greeting. And then you started the class off with singing Happy Birthday to a girl whose birthday was that day with your guitar. So that was a very nice, cheerful opening to your class. I liked how you had a microphone. I believe that's a microphone around your neck, so you didn't have to yell at the students. You could just speak in a normal tone. And so it was very nice. You had a very nice level of communication with your voice. And I liked how you changed your voice a lot throughout the class period. It wasn't just monotone. You had different pitches in your own voice. And then I thought it was good. Well, first let me back up. I wasn't quite sure the actual project because it did say lesson objectives, but it was a little confusing of what the whole project was. The overall project, it seems like they were working on a song that a scary song that went with the story that was based on an interview with the teacher, is what I gathered from the conversation. So probably I would have liked to have seen the objective of the class was to make a scary song to go with the story. But I liked how you had your screen up so that I could see some of the information from the class. But although when I saw the adults clapping and cheering in a GIF, I thought that was a little bit distracting to the words that you had in the overhead. And I believe it was like the elements of what they were going to be looking for. I thought that your circular seating was nice. I like how they had their laptops, although they seemed a bit wiggly, for even though they were very good, well-behaved middle schoolers. I noticed that maybe some desktops would be nice, or maybe a table in the middle. But they seem to seem very comfortable in that circle, talking with you and talking with each other. And then I liked how you went over the fixed mindset and the growth mindset, and you put it in terms of criticism versus critique. I also liked how you were totally engaged with the students. And you showed a lot of enthusiasm to get them interested in your lesson. And I liked how you took audience participation by letting them vote on your whatever program you had them sign into, to vote on how they viewed what the growth or the fixed mindset in terms of criticism or critique, and that some kids were afraid of being criticized. I did like your GIF of the Howard Simpson cartoon, even though it was a little distracting to the type in the overhead. It was kind of, to me, it seemed a little more age appropriate to middle schoolers than having two adults raise their hands up and down. And let's see. I like how you used the sticky note sandwich strategy for getting them to put down, I noticed, I wondered, and I noticed again, 3 sticky notes for each, as a critique for each student. And then how you switched to smaller groups in another classroom, or it looked like it was in a different classroom, it may have been in the same room. And I liked how you walked around and talked to the students, and you seemed to really be listening to what they had to say. And I could tell they liked their GarageBand app that they were using to make the scary music. And when you were talking to students, you asked a lot of questions, gave them good feedback. They were very, very open with their conversation with you then too. And then I also liked how you turned off the light to add more dramatic effect to their scary music. I thought that was good. And they all behaved even when you turned off the lights completely. Usually teachers will dim up the lights, but usually not turn them off completely. And then and then how you regrouped and everybody got back into the classroom, and again you walked around. I would just try to make sure that you don't turn your back, if possible, in that circular seating arrangement. Maybe try not to put your back towards some of the students, and sometimes you had your back towards the camera. Maybe, I don't know if that's also to the students or not, but anyway, you are a great teacher, and it was looked like a great music class. You got these kids to do some very good work in middle school. So I appreciate you letting me observe your class, and good luck.
Thank you very much for your feedback.